Which of the following is not the duty of ADN? Execution and measurement of works, verification of stores held by stockholders, submission of proposal for inclusion in the works program and revenue budget. Since all the three are the duty of the ADN, so right answer is none of the above. Which of the following inspections are required to be done by the ADN? Inspection of building and structure, water supply, inspection of sewerage and drainage system, raw and rat, inspection of land and land boundaries, colony committee, sanitation committee, and the station development group. And since all the options are right, so all of the above will be the right answer. How often should the assistant engineer inspect each section engineer's office and store? And that is annually. Which of the following is not a duty of the section engineer works? Maintenance of land boundaries, removal of encroachments, afforestation and other horticulture work, and training of the staff. Since all the answers are true, so answer 4 is the right answer. Every section engineer works shall be responsible for proper measurement of the contractual work as per power delegated to him as per para of the Indian Railway Code of the Engineering Department 1993 edition. And the right answer is para 1315 to 1317. Who shall maintain movement register of measurement books and a standard measurement register for the works? And the right answer is SSC works. What is the periodicity of examination of all tools and plants with the artisan by the section engineer works? And that is once a month. Which of the following should be in possession with SSC works during inspection with the higher official? Works manual, schedule of rate, a standard specification for material and works. So all the three are the right. So all of them will be the right answer. Who is responsible for witnessing of payment to a staff of SSC works when made in cash and to certify himself that the correct amount is paid? And that is SSC works. On relinquishing charges, the specified transfer of charge statement prepared by the section engineer works shall be sent by AEN to divisional executive engineer in how many copies? And that is single and one copy. Progress report to be submitted on itemized work in the works program, a list of approved works by AEN to, and that is DN or senior DN. Which of the following provide right to erect building on their own land by railway without having to obtain sanction of the municipal or cantonment authorities in whose areas the site is situated? And Section 11 of the Indian Railway Act number 24 of 1989, Government Building Act number 4 of 1899, and Section 291 of the Cantonment Act number 2 of 1924. Here all the answers are correct. Also, all of the above will be the right answer. The siting of buildings or other structure in the vicinity of track dash curve should be avoided. And the right answer is inside. In areas where bylaws have been notified by the local authorities for construction of multi-story building, what is the recommended practice for railway building? And the right answer is railway buildings should be follow local building bylaws as good recommended practice. When a large number of type 1 and type 2 single-story quarters are to be constructed, these should be built at least in how many units block? And that is 2 blocks. As per code number SP41 SNT 1987, which type of climates conditions are found in India? And these are hot and dry, hot and humid, warm and humid, and cold. So all of them will be the right answer. Which of the following is not a major area falling in the hot and dry climate zone in India? Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Kerala. Here Kerala is the odd one, so Kerala is the right answer. What is the recommended percentage of window area in relation to the floor area for buildings in hot and dry climate zones? And that is 15 to 20%. What architectural features can be used as radiation barriers on the west side of a building in hot and dry climate? And it may be canopies, chhajjas, long baramda, so any of the above. In hot and dry climates, what a special need should be considered for building design? And from the options, option 2 is the right answer. Outdoor sleeping areas for summer nights. What does X indicate in the first code letter of the first part in the codification of the rail fractures? And that is point and crossing. Third code R letter indicates probably cause of failure on rail in the first part of the code in the codification of the rail failure, and that is cause inherent in rail. Third code S letter, which follows the second code letter, indicates probable cause of failure on rail in the first part of the code in the codification of the rail fracture, rail failure, and that is fault of rolling stock. The letter code O, the third code O letter, which follows the second code letter, indicates probable cause of failure or rail in the first part of the code in codification of the rail failures, and that is other causes. Third code D letter, which follows the second code letter, indicates probable cause of the failure or rail in the first part of the code in codification of the rail failure, and that is derailment. Total life of USFD machine is approximately, and that is 8 years. Which probe have been provided especially to find out defects originating from the bolt hole or star crack? And that is 37 degree. Which probe is provided for detection of horizontal defects, and 70-degree probes have been provided for the transverse defect in the head, and that is normal. Which of the following is used as a couplant while undertaking hand probing at AT welding? It may be the soft grease or any thick wire of high viscosity grade. So option A or B is the right answer. 3 cross with red paint on both faces of babe indicates IMR or IMRW. 2 cross with red paint on both faces of weld in the head indicates DFWR. Final action to be taken against DFWO by SSC JE PWAY, and it should be to be provided with joggle face plate with 2 far-in bolts within 3 days. Interim action to be taken against IMR or IMRW by SSC or JE PWAY, and he should clamp joggle faceplate within 24 hours. Interim action to be taken against DFWO by SSC or JE PWAY. So to be provided with joggle faceplate using minimum 2 tight clamps immediately. Interim action to be taken against IMR or IMRW by SSC or JUSFD. So SSC or JUSFD, the flawed portion should be replaced by a sound tested rail piece within 3 days of detection. No. Here the answer should be impose SR of 30 kmph or stricter and communicate to the SSC JEP way. So option 4 is the right answer. First periodic testing of SKV weld should be completed within, and it should be 20 GMT or 1 year, whichever is earlier. What is the frequency of USFD testing of SKV weld if route having 8 GMT? And that should be 5 years. Fracture within dash mm of weld to be considered as a weld fracture, and it should be 100 mm. Which of the following probes detect transverse crack lying below a scab or wheel burns? And that is 45-degree probe. Visual inspection of equipment and accessories of USFD is to be carried out at an interval of, and it should be done daily. CPWD DSR is applicable in railway engineering tender contract or not? So it is yes. What shall be mean by engineer as per GCC? So it is divisional engineer. When the tenders are invited in open and public manner and with adequate notice, then it is called public tender or open tender. Then it is called open tender. What shall mean the specification for material and works of the railway as specified under the authority of the Ministry of Railway or Chief Engineer, or as amplified, added to or superseded by the special instruction, if any, appended to the tender form? So यहाँ specification इसका मतलब क्या कहता है? And that is, it deals with the specification. A standard schedule of rate SSOR shall mean the schedule of rate adopted by the railway, which includes unified standard schedule of rates of the railway, that is a standard schedule of the rate of the railway issued under the authority of the chief engineer from time to time, updated with the correction slip issued up to date of inviting tender, or as otherwise specified in the tender documents. This sentence is true or false? And it is true. How many years experience should have contractor's authorized engineer? And he should have more than 3 years, 3 or more years. So here more than 3 years experience is required for the contractor's authorized engineer. What should be the date of inviting tender if tender is not published on the website? Then the date on which published in the newspaper. A list of approved contractors may not be maintained by the railway, whether it is true or false. And it is false. A list of approved contractors must be maintained by the railway. For the contractors who are already in the approved list of contractors, need not apply for the further registration. Is it the statement true? So here it is, a statement is false. The contractors who are already in the approved list of the contractor need apply for the further registration every year. How many cost of e-tender forms? Those tender forms are given free of cost. For works estimated to cost more than rupees 1 crore, what is the correct option for the bid security? So for more than 1 crore, the bid security be rupees 2 lakh plus 0.5% of the excess of the estimated cost of work beyond 1 crore, subjected to the maximum of rupees 1 crore. From which department GCC has been published? And it is Engineering Department. Full form of IRSGCC. And the full form of IRSGCC is Indian Railway Standard General Conditions of Contract, and option B is the right answer. Bid security shall not be applicable for all modes of tender. No, it should be. So here a statement is false. What do you mean by contractor's authorized engineer? So here, as per definition in the GCC, contractor's authorized engineer shall mean a graduate engineer or equivalent having more than 3 years experience in the relevant field of construction works involved in the contract and duly approved by the engineer. So option D is the right answer. How much bid security our labor cooperative society should submit in comparison to the others? So bid security for the labor cooperative society 50% deduction, so 50% have to be given, submitted. What happens to the bid security if tender is accepted? When tender is accepted, bid security will be retained as a part of the security deposit. For bid security, which one is true? Among the options, the option B is the right. The bid security shall be deposited either in cash through e-payment gateway or submitted as a bank guarantee bond from the Scheduled Commercial Bank of India or as mentioned in the tender document. The bank guarantee bond shall be as per the annexure of 6A of the GCC. The bank guarantee bond and be valid for a period of how much time beyond the bid validity period, and that is 90 days. In geodetic survey, the surface of the earth is considered curved. When 2 points of survey are mutually invisible, the following methods of ranging is adopted, and that is indirect ranging. A chain is found too short on testing. It can be adjusted by straightening the links, inserting additional circular rings, flattening the circular rings. So any of the above. Offsets are two types and they are perpendicular and oblique. Labeling deals with the measurements in. So labeling deals with the measurements in the vertical plane. The surface of zero elevation around the earth is known as mean sea level. The RL of the point A, which is on the floor, is 100 meter and backside reading is 2.455. If the foresight reading on the point B, which is on the ceiling, is 2.745, the RL of the point B will be. So here you should be add the 100 plus 2.455 and this one. So here 105.20. The position of a point can be fixed by more accurately by, and that is perpendicular offset. What is the sum of the magnetic bearing and the magnetic declination to calculate the true bearing? And the right option is add magnetic declination to the magnetic bearing. What is the purpose of taking a foresight in leveling? The purpose of taking foresight in leveling is to measure the elevation of a known point. In areas where corrosion is severe, priming coat consists of 1 coat of ready mixed paint zinc chromate priming to IS 104 followed by 1 coat of zinc chromate red oxide priming to IS 2074, or 1 coat of ready mixed paint zinc chromate priming to IS 104 followed by 1 coat of zinc chrome red oxide priming to IS 2074. And here either of the above. The shelf life of aluminum paint used in the railways when paste and oil are mixed, and that is 12 months. Inspection of important bridges overall rating number 1, 2, 3 by senior DN or DN is once a 12 months, यानी once in a year. Inspection of steel works of girder bridges less than 12.2 meter clear span shall be done by the permanent bay and works inspector, and that is, it may be about 20% every year or once in a 5 years. So both B and C is the right answer. Elastomeric bearing should be generally cleaned and greased once in 3 years. In which type of bearing tooth bar is provided? And that is rocker and roller bearing. While bath bearing of rocker and rollers are generally provided for the girders of a span above, and that is 76.2 meter. Welded girder inspected by the BRI by which how much year of the initial installation, and then after how much year? 1 and 3. Shallow foundation. Shallow foundation means bridge foundation having less than 2 meter depth below bed level in case of arch bridges, or 1.2 meter depth below the bed level in case of other bridges. Here A and B are correct. To avoid build-up of hydrostatic pressure, peep holes be provided at 1 meter interval in both horizontal and vertical direction. Choked wheel holes be cleaned and made functional. The backfill material should be granular, or all of the above. So all of the above is the right answer. First man to go into the space from India, Rakesh Sharma. First man to climb Mount Everest, Tenzing Norgay. First woman to climb Mount Everest twice, Santosh Yadav. First woman to get Nobel Prize from India, and that is Mother Teresa. First woman governor of a state, that is UP, and that is Sarojini Naidu. First woman IS officer, and that is Anna George Malhotra. First woman to win Miss World title, and that is Rita Faria. First woman to win Miss Universe title, Susmita Sen. Who was the first man from India to win an Oscar? That is Bhanu Athaiya. First Viceroy of India, that is Lord Canning. First Indian to win gold medal in Olympics, Abhinav Bindra. First newspaper in India, that is Bengal Gazette. First man to climb Mount Everest, Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. First man to sail around the world, that is Ferdinand Magellan. First European to invade India, that is Alexander the Great. Which one is the longest railway platform in the world? That is Hubli Junction platform. Which one is the longest wall in the world? And that is Great Wall of India, China. Which one is the largest dam in the world? And that is Tarvela Dam. Which one is the largest island in the world? And that is Green Island. Which one is the largest freshwater lake in the world by the volume of water? And that is Lake Baikal. क्या भारतीय संविधान में राष्ट्रभाषा का उल्लेख है? नहीं। संघ की राजभाषा किस लिपि में है? देवनागरी। भारतीय संविधान में राजभाषा संबंधी संवैधानिक उपबंध किस भाग में है? भाग 5, भाग 6, भाग 17 अतः उपरोक्त सभी। संविधान के किस अनुच्छेद में विधान मंडल में प्रयोग की जाने वाली भाषा का उल्लेख है? और वो 210। संविधान के किस अनुच्छेद में संघ की राजभाषा का वर्णन है? संविधान के किस अनुच्छेद में संघ की राजभाषा का वर्णन है? 343, 343। संसदीय राजभाषा समिति में कुल कितने सदस्य होते हैं? 30। संसदीय राजभाषा समिति के अध्यक्ष कौन होते हैं? केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री। राजभाषा के संबंध में आयोग और संसद की समिति किस अनुच्छेद में वर्णित है? और वो है 344। देवनागरी लिपि में हिंदी किस अनुच्छेद में वर्णित है? और वह है 343 का 1। संविधान के किस अनुच्छेद में भाषाई अल्पसंख्यक वर्गों के लिए विशेष अधिकारी की नियुक्ति की गई है? 350 का ख। संविधान के किस अनुच्छेद में हिंदी भाषा के विकास के लिए निर्देश दिए गए हैं जिससे वह भारत की सामाजिक संस्कृति के सभी तत्वों की अभिव्यक्ति का माध्यम बन सके? 351। भारतीय संविधान में राजभाषा संबंधी कितने अनुच्छेद हैं? तो इनमें से कोई भी ऑप्शन सही नहीं है। राजभाषा अधिनियम 1963 की किस धारा के उपबंधों के अनुसार संसदीय समिति का गठन किया गया है? भाग 4। संसदीय समिति का पुनर्गठन कब हुआ? 1976 में। संसदीय राजभाषा समिति की कितनी उपसमितियां हैं? 3। राजभाषा आयोग की प्रथम बैठक कब हुई? 1955 में। उच्चतम न्यायालय और उच्च न्यायालयों में से अधिनियमों, विधेयकों आदि के लिए प्रयोग के लिए की जाने वाली भाषा का उल्लेख किस अनुच्छेद में वर्णित है? 348। व्यथा के निवारण के लिए अभ्यावेदन में प्रयोग की जाने वाली भाषा का वर्णन किस अनुच्छेद में है? एंड वो है 350। राजभाषा के संबंध में संसद की समिति गठन करने का प्रस्ताव किस अनुच्छेद में है? और वो है 344। संविधान के भाग 17 में राजभाषा संबंधी विशेष प्रावधान किस अध्याय में दिए गए हैं? और वो है भाग 4। Who is considered as the government for the gazetted officer holding post in the railway board, and that is president? What is the meaning of government when it comes to the other non-government non-gazetted officers, and that is the general manager of the railway administration? For which specific rules does government mean the railway board in the case of all non-gazetted railway servant? Here sub rule 2 and sub rule 3 of rule 5, sub rule 1 of rule 8, sub rule 1 of rule 10. So all of those is the right answer. So all of the above is the right option. Who is considered as the railway servant? A person who is a member of the service or who holds a post under the administrative control of the railway board and includes a post in the railway board. So both of the is the right answer. Who is considered a part of the means of family in relation to the railway servant? So here any other person relevant, whether the blood or marriage to the railway servant or to the railway servant's wife or husband and wholly dependent of the railway servant, any child of the railway servant dependent upon the railway servant, only the spouse of the railway servant here. So here all of the options is the right. So which of the following is one of the duties of responsibility expected from the railway servant? Here all the options looks good, so all of the above will be the right answer. Which of the following is one of the duties and responsibility expected from a railway servant? And here looking to the three options, here all of the above is the right answer. Which of the following is one of the duties and responsibility expected from the railway servant? Looking to the option, all the options are looking good, so all of the above will be the right answer. A railway servant who habitually fails to perform the task assigned to him within the time set for the purpose and with the quality of performance expected of him shall be deemed to be lacking in devotion duty. Which rule of the railway servant conducts rule described it best? And that is rule 3 ka sub rule 2. What is the preferred mode of communication for the official's direction from a supervisor? And that is written. What action should an official superior take if they issue an oral direction, and that is confirm it in writing immediately thereafter. Which service conduct rule defined about the promptness and courtesy? Rule 3, sub rule A. Next, which service conduct rule defined about the prohibition of sexual harassment of the working woman? And that is rule 3, sub rule C. What does the term workplace? And here looking through the options, all the options looks good, so all of them will be the right answer. Which rule of the railway service conduct rule prohibit taking part in the politics and election? That is rule 5. Which rule of the railway servant conduct rule prohibit joining of association or unions by the railway servant? And that is rule 6. When peaceful and orderly meeting or demonstration are allowed by the railway employees? Looking to the option, all the options looks good, so all of them is the right answer. According to which railway servant conduct rule, no railway servant shall conduct or participate in the editing or management of any newspaper or other periodical publication or electronic media? And that is rule 8. Criticism of government is prohibited by the railway employee by which rule of the railway service conduct rule? And that is rule 9. By which rule of the railway service conduct rule railway employees have not allowed for communication of official information without authorization? And that is rule 11. The association of railway servant with the selling of ticket for charity show is permitted according to the railway service conduct rule 1966 or not? And it is no. Railway employees are allowed to accept gift by which railway service conduct rule? 1966. And that is rule number 13. In normal occasion, a railway servant shall not accept any gift without the sanction of the government if the value exceed which of the following is permitted limit? And looking to the option, all the above is the right answer. Which rule of railway service conduct rule 1966 prohibits dowry? And that is rule 13A. The expression valuable security has the same meaning as in the section of the Indian Penal Code, and that is 30. Which rule of the railway service conduct rule 1966 prohibits private trade or employment? And that is rule 15. By which rule of railway service conduct rule 1966 railway servants should not ordinarily be allowed to accept part-time employment whether under government or elsewhere, even though such employment is after office hours? And that is rule number 15. By which rule railway service conduct rule insolvency and habitual indebtedness? And that is rule number 17. By which rule of railway service conduct rule 1966 every railway servant shall on his first appointment to the railway service submit a return of his asset and liabilities? And that is rule number 18. Where a railway servant enters into a transaction in respect of movable property either in his own name or in the name of a member of his family, he shall within how many months from the date of such transaction report to the same to the government if the value of the such property exceed 2 months basic pay of the railway servant? And that is 1 month. Thank you. This is the end of the video.